Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. Now, if you like these sorts of videos, I would be immensely honored if you would subscribe and like the video. It always shows how much the video is appreciated, and it shows the algorithm how much the video is appreciated. More importantly, let's head over to the story. The Seeker, written by Ozzy Endeavor. What a time to be alive. I wish my parents had lived to see this moment, but they knew from the moment they could understand language that it was my destiny, not theirs, not my grandparents, nor several generations more. The reason I am here in the first place is because of 1,024 of my ancestors believed it was worth spending their whole lives aboard this vessel if it meant that I would reach the end of the journey. That isn't even counting those thousands upon thousands of others whose descendants would be people standing by my side right now. The ship, the Seeker, left my species' cradle world hundreds of years ago, blazing through the interstellar medium at 82.7% of the speed of light, the very fastest our ancestors could possibly make it with their technology. Every couple of generations, a breakthrough would be made to allow it to travel just a little bit faster, and it now shoots through the void at 91.3% of light speed. But why? Why would my ancestors first even agree to board a ship that they would never leave? Why would they accept taking on this journey knowing that they would die in this lifeless space between the stars? As my entire generation knows, it's because of a single star, a single speck of light that our ship has focused on for every second of every cycle for hundreds of years. Back before the Seeker was built, we were a fledgling civilization. The furthest we had ever gotten was a small expedition to one of the other planets in the system, and a small base on our moon. Space was an abyss, dark and eternal, cold and silent. We screamed into the void, but no one answered. Most believed that we were alone, that life on our planet was just a fluke of physics, a glitch in the universe. That changed forever, one fateful day. At first, it was believed to have just been a random burst radio waves from one of our own satellites, but that assumption was wrong. It repeated itself over and over for years. Could it be a pulsar? No. The signal had countless peaks and valleys in intensity and repeated far too slowly to be a pulsar. This was a deliberate creation, crafted by delicate paws, or perhaps claws, or hands, or talons. This was made by an intelligence, not our own. The signal was obviously been traveling for a long time, garbled and corrupted by its journey. Even if we could reconstruct it, we had no way to translate it, and that assumes it's an actual message instead of just something to grab our attention. The origin of the signal was pinpointed to a star that shone dimly, only visible on the clearest of nights. We had our destination. All we needed was a vessel and volunteers. This, our chance to answer a call from those who were just as likely alone as ourselves. Our chance to answer a call not unlike the countless ones we had sent into the void. The Seeker was built and launched, bidding farewell to the planet our people were born on, leaving billions of people behind, knowing that they would never know who sent the signal. Like a lonely traveler to lantern light, the Seeker set its eyes on the dim star at the edge of visibility, resolute in its purpose, on our purpose. As the last living memory of our cradle world began to fade, our ancestors utilized virtual reality to recreate the planet they left behind, and used it to teach their star-born children about home that they never knew. While this carried on through the generations until it reached our own, with each light year traveled, our connection with that now distant planet waned. We focused on what our next home will be, on what secrets orbited that dim star that grew brighter by the year. During the time of my great-grandparents, the radio signal stopped. Several months of worry ensued. What had happened? Had something bad happened to whoever was broadcasting it? Did they stop, distraught that no one was coming to answer their call? As panic seeped in, everyone scrambled to figure out how they could possibly fix something out of their control. The reason for the silence made itself clear. The star turned green. Even a star that peaked in the green part of the electromagnetic spectrum would still produce enough blue and red light to appear white to the naked eye. Our great-grandparents waited for months, years, and then decades, waiting to see if perhaps the impossible color was caused by a passing dust cloud. The color never faded. The once dim star, now amongst the brightest in the viewport, shone a brilliant green. The easily missed radio signal was replaced by something that could not be ignored. A star impossible in the natural universe. Undeniable proof that there was some form of intelligence out in the void, and that it wanted to be seen. A cosmic beacon beckoning anyone and everyone to follow the light. The Seeker raced ahead, unwavering in its goal. When the green star officially became the brightest we could see, we knew we were drawing close to the end. My parents were growing old, just a few light years away from the end of our journey. I had to say goodbye to them, knowing how unbelievably close they were to making it. If those breakthroughs in speed had come just a little bit sooner. Less than a light year left, and the Seeker was full of celebration. Our generation would be the ones. We will see the secrets of the green star. We would finally meet the sapient life that had called out to us hundreds of years ago. Closing in on the system, our senses could distinguish individual planets and planetoids. The exterior of the Seeker, which had known nothing but darkness for centuries, was bathed in green light. Finally, we had arrived at the system's interior, passing a ring of icy asteroids and planetoids orbiting the star. We sent a scan out to see what we could glean from the star system that had seemed like a distant fantasy not too long ago. When the scan slowly returned at light speed, what they revealed caused the whole ship to go silent. 4 rocky worlds, 4 gaseous giants, and countless smaller moons and dwarf planets. From the surface of planets 3 and 4, from the orbits of the gaseous giants, from the Lagrange points of each and every major mass, a deluge of light and radio waves flooded the silent void with sound, intelligence, life. As the Seeker erupted into exultation once more, continuous scans recorded a dozen objects emerging from the system, heading directly towards us. Our ship, for the first time in existence, slowed down. When the 12 objects entered visible range, their true nature was finally revealed to us. Like angels bathing in green light, 12 spaceships approached the Seeker. They sent more signals, clear and purposeful, directly to us. Even if we couldn't understand them, we knew what they were: requests for communication. 12 faces, unlike anything that we had ever seen before, popped up on screens throughout the Seeker. Reptilian, avian, mammalian, amphibious, and several others we couldn't begin to name. They too were celebrating a warm welcome that transcended the language barrier, that transcended divisions of species. We had made it. We had met the people that sent the first signal and had turned their home star into a beacon. But there was 12 different species here, not including the people of the Seeker. Who sent the signal? That dawning question would be answered soon, but for now hardly mattered to us. The Seeker moved through the system, a victory lap well-deserved, as we steadily spiraled closer to the star, flanked by 12 ships meant to welcome us. Around each gas giant, huge space stations orbited, entire continent-sized constructions, housing possibly hundreds of millions of sapiens each. On planets 3 and 4, city lights could be seen shining from the light sides, displaying the homes of billions. Finally, resting at the Lagrange point of each planet, megastructures floated in the void. They were each the size of the small planetoids, and my mind could hardly fathom how many people they could house. At last, the Seeker had arrived at the planet orbiting closest to the green star. At first, it seemed like this rocky world was the only one in the system untouched by sapiens. But a closer look revealed the truth. 11 colossal spaceships were in orbit around the small planet, a few just barely smaller than the Seeker, the rest slightly larger. generation ships. The celebrations in the 12 guiding ships had quietened, and 11 of them had gone completely silent for a moment. One remained in contact with us, a single alien visible on the screens. A bipedal creature featuring 2 arms and 2 legs, an erect spine lacking a tail and much of its fur, save for a small patch atop its scalp. 2 joyful eyes staring back at us. It began to speak. At first, I couldn't understand it, but slowly, its words became clear to me. Welcome to the Sol System, the haven of sapience. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.